Hello, guys. Welcome to this amazing live stream. So, I really apologize for everything that's happening today. It's bad. I don't know how much I can keep apologizing for. But I would just love to say, I don't know. I really don't know what. So, I have and not just say that um, uh, Facebook is not one of them that we're streaming on today, and so I'm really. But for those who watch, if you are watching right now, you should just say hi. You can on the chat. Yeah, I'm excited to be here today. I don't know if we're able to use YouTube. Oh, see, don't get it twisted. I'm still putting on the rest. So, my my name is Lane, and I am Northwest region of Cameroon. That's why you see me with all of this so much cold. So I put some swag in. I didn't want to wear some and stuff like that. And I'm so excited for the event of today. I don't know if we'll be able to have this today. He made us understand that he's stuck in traffic. So he's in Douala, Cameroon. Nzonda Fotsing. He is. So, I mean, you can understand when he says he's stuck in Douala. So that's basically the reason. I don't know if we'll be able to have him after I reach out to him. I haven't been able to get to him, but like if you're watching, you could just say hi. If you're on YouTube, you could um, give us a comment. You can rate us. We'd love to know you. We would love to engage with you and what's up. So still we are about network development. I mean, I a lot of people reaching out. Yeah, I want to check out where the doing some a little bit, maybe to. Oh, okay, perfect. So I think that we're gonna do it as we are doing it right now. So maybe they probably thought thinking about the whole thing, but I don't know if they know me. So now they realize that it's serious stuff and they would want to come on board to really share their knowledge and information that they have with everyone. Like I said, if you're joining me on YouTube, anyway, we're on YouTube today. So you could just say hi. I don't know. Facebook stream is kind of hard to choose, so we're able to stream to Facebook. So we're streaming only on YouTube. So I would say that it's been amazing, and I would just say that I would love for you guys to excuse me, just excuse me for 5 minutes. Me notify everyone, those on Facebook, on WhatsApp that are waiting for the stream. Let me just let them know that something is going on. Please, 5 minutes of your time. I know we already started late due to internet connectivity and all that, but hey, trust me, we're going to have an amazing time. If you're just joining, you could just say hey, or you can just hello, comment, greet. Let's know you. Let's know that you are connected. Let's know that you're watching because we love for you to watch. Just give me 5 minutes. I'll be back. See you. sure that my it's all done. So I'm happy to be back here to you, and it's really like to talk to you about what I'm going to. I'm sorry, I've still not been able to get to the speaker for today. So I'm just going to try as much as possible to be able to give you the best what was planned for today. I'm going to do that as much as possible. So we're going to be talking about bootstrapping. You know, I already be doing right now. But you might really right now really your marks really want to let's say because you might not really be able to get what I mean if get into that try to see how to know what bootstrapping is all about. We are bootstrapping the whole idea of bootstrapping personal safety, right? Get revenue or startup has been created or started. Right? You don't have any and so from out of people sales like designing, sorting, money use that money fund the company on other products, Hardware platform, the time of platform, the products that we're building and stuff like that. So because of this process, normally if we would want a company, the normal way we were supposed to go is write a project like a plan, like the plan and everything, and then we decide now to say, okay, invest starting of any, maybe we could do prototypes and all of that. We could just write a business plan out there, and but bootstrapping is the process of using personal funds, right, in order to start your company or your startup. So that's just it. Like I said, it's a term and all of that. You as an entrepreneur start with little or no external cash. You're not taking money, or you're not taking money from anybody. You know. Anyway, we can get into this in the future where we talk about leveraging your family and friends to raise money for your company and all of that. Bootstrapping, the idea of starting with external funds. You're not getting any fund, just from you and your partner. That's just it. Now, the topic is about bootstrapping into a new career as a professional. Now, sorry about that. Most of us go by and all of that. For me, from first, now did you take care of that process? On that process, so you can mix it. Maybe you're that in the book, right? Because of that, you can go to the go spend 6,000 a year and 600 a year because yes. Okay, it's okay. You can go to ICT University in Yaoundé. Right? The issue was process, schooling, getting and that. So I was home, but no use. So it was making sense to me. So I don't know if getting me. If your life, you just read something. You can just I would love to know you personally. I would love to know any questions. If you could just post and them and they answer your questions. The time of life we have might not see I guess I'm still live. So in the business, when I would just like I would advance, right, so that you can then from there we can try to see how to understand is anatomy. Anatomy. That's in the aspect of it. Right? When you have full control, you have full control. Like when you're starting in a business, starting off a business is something you have full control of it. 100% control on the decision making is by you. You decide when your office hours are kind of big. You decide, hey, if you say you need to represent you, make that choice. If you say you want Frank Ego to represent you and be your brand ambassador, you make that choice. It's all you decide everything you want to and everything you want to do, from decision making to name it. So you have full control of the company. That is it. nobody tells you how to run the idea, like to run your company. Nobody yes, anybody on spending. You do whatever you want to do. Like the saying says, you do advantage yet. Now, when you shopping, you save time, right? You can put your end on that, you know. So when you're in your school, let's talk about yeah, to you sending to school. You're sending your, you know, I actually sponsor. So I'm going to tell parents about seek their approval. That is first school anatomy. I decided that I wanted. I went to shoot it. So I didn't have approval on that. So that was many times sitting physically. There are no ones I wanted, and I effort and focus on the areas where I want to be at that level. So and everything that still comes back to the part where I said full control. Now, I don't know who blows the herd. So they what does that actually mean? Experiment. Let's say you cannot please indicate on the chat if you're having troubles connecting. Indicate on the chat if you're not getting my audio or video. Please indicate on the chat. I might be able to have done or somehow, maybe I don't know. But all in all, it's the internet. So that's all. So experimentation. I can't be spending money on you. Most investors, in this case, your family members, they can't really be spending money on you or expect to experiment that money. Like something like, that is so me for and then when I'm done, you know, when I'm at point, I see for me, I can try to continue with the process. It really doesn't work that way. They're not going to do that. So you see, it won't work because they won't ask for experimentation. You can do experiments, but when you are actually bootstrapping yourself into a new career, you can experiment. Right? You may face you may face so a lot of pressures and all of that. Okay. Please, once again, if you are getting what I'm saying, please, you will just have to indicate and let me know if you're getting what I'm saying. So I'm sorry about this, but I don't I think I'm just going to do I'm just going to do audio. It seems streaming audio it's kind of better. I think streaming audio is kind of better, but just let me know if on the session if you're getting me. I'm trying to also switch between to really catch up and follow up with everything that's going on. So thank you guys so very much for being patient and all that. I really appreciate your time spent and all that. So yeah, I'm getting your comments and everything. Please, okay. I'm getting information that the sound is perfect. So I get everybody. I guess everybody is listening. Is getting me now. I really apologize for the internet connectivity. So we were at experimentation, right? Experimenting. This is actually exciting. You know, when we talk about experimentation, is mostly the idea that you can quickly start up a career and see if it's going to work out, and if it's not possible, you shut it down, right? Because of that, nobody controls what you do at any time. You know, you can practically do whatever you want. That's just what experimentation is about. Experimenting your ideas. Nobody can stop you. Now, another thing is self-investment, right? That's another one of the advantages. Self-investment. You know, when when you're investing, you know, when you're doing the investment yourself, you know what you're doing and you know where you're going to. So because of that, you can actually be patient with yourself to say that, okay, fine, I'm going to do this investment for the next I'm going to do this investment for the next 3 years or 5 years. Because you are investing in yourself, right? Nobody is going to be hasty about it with you. Like your parents can come up and say that we have spent 7 years sending you to school, and the total amount of money that we end up spending is about 10 million. What do you have to show up for the 10 million investment? You have still not had a job. So because of somebody else's expenditure on you, you are forced to maybe take up decisions, or you can start up something that you really don't want to get involved in, right? Because someone else is investing in you, so they're expecting you to start producing returns in marketing, or in business terms, we say return on investment. You get. So because of that, they will be rushing you, and they will be expecting you to start giving return on investment that might really not be available at the moment. So that is an advantage. It's self-investing. So another thing is, okay, when someone is investing in you, they are expecting returns, like I said, return on investment. So when you invest in yourself, like I invested in myself to become a cloud engineer, nobody expecting anything from me. You have zero expectations from nobody, family members or otherwise. So that is it. So you have no pressure, you have 100% full control and all of that. Then another option is that nobody, like there is no expenses that you try to figure out like upfront. There's no point. Basically, the process is, I can say, is pay as you go. Yeah, you don't have to think about it in the biggest future. You get, it's just pay as you go. But now I would also love to talk about the challenges that are involved in bootstrapping. You know, the challenges that are involved in bootstrapping are mostly high risk, right? You have to deal with the risk, just like in the business. You have to deal with the risk because you're putting in your full money. Imagine that you want to start a career in, let's say, security, like you want to be a security analyst and you want to pursue a CompTIA certification, bruh, you have to invest a lot of money and it might not work out for you, you get, because you might end up losing money at the end because you would do all of that and you get to realize that you don't get a job. Just like probably like what already your parents are doing. A lot of you get sent to up to at the level of masters and you still are not able to get a job. So there is a lot of high risk. But at the level where your parents or family are sponsoring, the risk is shared. So you shared between you, your parents, and your family. So it's not like that huge. But when you're bootstrapping, the risk is fully you. You 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 spend, like, all the risk is you. Everything is about you. You take 100% risk. And then another thing is the process might be slow, so your growth might be inhibited at a certain level. So because you don't really have money, take for example, to become a CompTIA network, a CompTIA, a cybersecurity analyst, it's a process that can actually take like 2 years. But because you're using your personal finances, your funding is limited. So you would want to say that, okay, let me get 2 certifications first, like the CompTIA ITF Plus and the CompTIA A Plus, and maybe the CompTIA Network Plus, and then I get a job somewhere and I start working so that I can raise money to go to others, like for other certifications. But if you're seeking investments from your parents, and meaning that you're not bootstrapping, what you technically do is that look for the school and then just tell your parents that, okay, daddy, from this level that I am to get to the security analyst with CompTIA, I need 50 million. And your parent can just make 50 million available for you, or your family members can just contribute and make that money available to you. And boom, that is you right there in less than no time, 2 years, having or becoming a cybersecurity analyst. So that is that. But because you're bootstrapping, your growth is going to be highly limited. So we are talking about unestablished credibility. You know, when you're bootstrapping, you have to be intentional, because if you miss the steps, which I'm going to list, right, you will get stuck. That is the thing about bootstrapping, because bootstrapping might require you focusing on getting skills rather than certifications that would accredit, like they will accredit you. You get, that is the stuff. So it's conventional to go to school, get a college degree, get an HND, get a BSc, get a master's, a PhD. Your school backs your education. But when you're bootstrapping, you might be learning skills. Like, for example, you spend your time as a digital marketer learning from people like HubSpot Academy without certifications, in quote. You learn from people like Neil Patel. You learn from people like Nzonda, because I consider Nzonda like Neil Patel at a global scale. If you're doing digital marketing in Cameroon and you don't know Nzonda Fotsing, Kenneth, then I think that you should have a rethink about the whole process, because he's one of the amazing digital marketers that I know in Cameroon. Not because my friend and all of that, but because he has traction. I mean, traction that has been able to sell. He has taken companies from barely nothing, like startups, e-commerce company like that are startups and stuff like that, to a level where they are making huge profits, margins of safer. So he has a traction record. So if you're talking about digital marketing in Cameroon and you're not mentioning Nzonda Fotsing, then I don't know what you're doing. I'm not talking about all these people making noise on social media, because he doesn't do that. He just proves with results, and that's why I brought him here today, because other than digital marketing, he's trying to pivot. He's trying to bootstrap into data science. Just think about it. It's one of the reasons I wanted him to be on the discussion today, because marketer who is trying to bootstrap, or he's not trying, who is bootstrapping into data science. How amazing is that? So that is what we're talking about. I was at a level of unestablished credibility. So you have to be intentional and take the necessary steps that you need in order to build your credibility. So now I'm going to talk or walk you through the things that you need to do in order for bootstrapping your career, right? Let's talk now. We have spoke about the advantages. Now you know what is installed for you, what is at stake. So let's talk about how to do that. You get? So one of the things you have to, when it comes to career, you have to start somewhere, right? You have to start somewhere. Some people start at the level of ordinary level, first school living certificate or something, but just know this, you have to start somewhere. And with contemporary technology being what it is, we have more tools to develop those careers in a productive way. You get? It's not just pass that to go to school, sit in a classroom and learn those. So you don't really need that. So regardless of the career available tools, you know, it is it can still prove intimidating. You know, it's really intimidating out of something. You imagine you're an accountant and you want to bootstrap. Let's take an example of Nzonda. I don't think it's something that he just slept overnight and decided that he wanted to become a data scientist. So it's intimidating when you want to move or switch careers or bootstrapping. So I want to discuss now some few things to consider when you're bootstrapping a career from scratch. The very first thing that I want to say is that learn the skills, right? You have to learn the skills. The simplest, although by no means easiest, way to kickstart your career is to develop the relevant skills for your industry or for the industry. You cannot just start selling yourself. Imagine Nzonda, who is a digital marketer, and he decides that he wants to become a data scientist, and all of a sudden he goes on social media and changes his profile and everything to a data scientist. Bro, that's one of the wrong moves that you should do, right? It's wrong with regards to the fact that you are already telling yourself or putting yourself there as such. Now, the world and the rest of the world will see you as a professional in that space, and now they start shooting you with a lot of questions that you will not definitely be able to answer, which will now affect your credibility. It's going to affect your credibility. So the very first thing you should do is to learn the skills, learn the hard skills of that particular industry. So you might have finished your degree or currently finishing your degree or something, right? And you have been in the past 4 years doing something. Regardless of whether you are a graduate or simply moving into a new career, you need to know what you are doing, and you need to be able to express that to potential employers. For example, like I said, the case of Nzonda, you cannot present yourself as a data scientist just because you said you want to follow that career path. You need to learn the skills, because potential employees are viewing your profile online and stuff like that. So they want to see you. You have to express that to them. You have to express those skills to them. So there might be particular software programs or platform used by professionals in that field. You need to be able to learn them as much as you can. Like if you say you want to be a data scientist, bro, you need to know Python, which is the basis. You need to do BigQuery, because what would you be analyzing data with? You need to know the Google Cloud Platform and the tools that they have for data scientists, like Cloud Data Pro, Cloud Data Prep, and BigQuery, and Cloud Data Studio for data visualizations and all of that. And find special deals on licenses. You can have some experience with softwares, like get into softwares, like you can get a Google Cloud Data Science certification from Google, which will prove handy for you, or Google Cloud Engineer certification, which is what I have. So all of these things are relevant. This is where a degree program also comes in handy, because oftentimes school purchases license for relevant softwares. If you're in a school, though in Cameroon it never happens, so I don't think I should talk about this here in Cameroon, because I mean, I'm pretty much sure that even the software that they are using in the universities in Cameroon, they are not licensed for Microsoft at all, like in the computer labs. They are not. So let me not talk about this at all. So let's just forget about this. So you need to make use of the internet to learn the skills, the hard skills. So don't take that lightly or take that away. You have to learn the hard skills. So we're going to the next part, which is network for free. There has never been a better time for networking than right now. That is what I have to tell you. The key to bootstrapping your career is leveraging networking opportunities in order to keep your name out there and show that you have potential as a professional. Network for free. I know that it is a tradition for people who are in the tech industry or tech space to deceive themselves. Yeah, because that is what it is. To deceive themselves that, hey, techies are quiet people. We sit behind our computers and all that. That is rubbish. That is why you realize that you after 5 years that you're done, nobody wants to hire you because nobody knows you. And especially if you're bootstrapping. When you're bootstrapping, you have no college degree from University of Boya or University of Bamenda. So you need that backing, and that backing comes from networking, attending events, putting yourself out there. Every event that is organized in the industry you're attending, you find yourself on social media, you read blog articles and you comment. Let them know that you are all about this stuff. How did I know that Nzonda is getting into data science? It's because he's putting himself out there, connecting in the industry. So network for free. It's free. So attend conferences, use social media, read blog articles, blogs and articles. Do that to get to know the people in your industry by their blogs. So read their blogs. There are a lot of people in particular industries that you have to read their blogs. For example, you want a career in maybe a software engineer or web developer. You don't read blogs of tech companies like the Afrovision in Boya, Zynga Systems and all of. You need to read their blogs. Follow them on social media. Connect with them, right? So find the authors on social medias and follow them. The authors of those websites and those blogs. Find out their professional circles and organizations they run with. Join them on Slack, wherever you can find. Join that space, right? Ask some questions in public forums and have conversations with people at different levels of experience, right? This is especially important for forum targeting your professions or social media platforms built specifically for networking, like LinkedIn. Yeah, another place is LinkedIn. And I made mention of attending conferences. Conference audience can still provide a top-notch way of networking with other professionals. If you are short on cash, be selective, or find out if there are any gatherings near you. Attend panels, ask questions, make decisions. One of the ways to really bootstrap your career and learn the skills that you want well is to ask questions during those conferences. You must not be a journalist to ask a question. You can ask a question to learn. Now, and the third point is to learn the industry. Learn the industry, but they don't know how the industry works. you need to be able to know how the industry works in general. How does the tech industry operate? How does the agricultural industry operate? How does the film industry operate? You have to learn the industry aside learning the skills, right? Now, this is something you should know. You can't get started with a career if you don't know the industry you're getting into. You might be a filmmaker if you don't know how the film industry operates your song, because the resume that you have to write, maybe the industry requires a video resume, and you end up writing a paper and you think that they are going to read. You get it? Maybe they receive emails, maybe they don't. So you have to learn the industry and how you operate. You can't write effective resumes if you don't know what potential employers and colleagues want. And you can't just jump into an industry without a learning curve. So attack the learning curve by learning the industry. It might sound like this sounds like a redundancy of first 2 points, but it extends much further than that. You know, you might say that learning the industry is networking and learning the skills, but it's far more than that. You know, learning about the long-term trends in hiring and labor in that field. Become an expert not simply of your job, but your future career 5 or 10 years down the road. So you need to be updated. You need to learn how the industry works. So then you write a resume and cover letter for that 5 years to 10-year job. See what skills and talents are there. See what kind of experience is there, and then learn about the potential path people take to get there. Is it all corporate work? Do your freelance or contract out? Is there a bigger market in smaller firms or at home businesses? These are things that you need to know. Do they hire freelancers or do they contract to other people in that industry? If they contract out, then you need to start up your own company. So you build a brand, and then they can contract you for those jobs. If they hire freelancers, then you need to build a good freelancing portfolio. So that is that. And we are moving close to the last point, which is prepare to work. This is the point. This is actually a funny point, and it's actually sad because, okay, let me bring back the analogy of people who are running mobile money kiosk. People who have degrees in different areas and they are running mobile money kiosk. Let me use the analogy. Honestly speaking, they were not preparing to learn, and most of the times they don't do all of these 4 points or 3 points that I've listed. They don't learn the skills. This is I said this the first day we started. Academic paths guarantee you certifications, and career paths guarantee you skills. And it depends on which approach your school decides to take. If your school, which is the case of most schools in Cameroon that focus on academic path, they guarantee us no certificate. They guarantee us certifications with no skills. You get? So that is it. So you realize that people go to school, they don't learn the skills, they don't network, they don't learn the industry, they don't prepare to work. Because there is no way you learn the skills, you learn the industry, you network for free, and you prepare to learn, and you come out without having a job. That is not true. Because while you're learning the skills, you're already networking. You get the point. These are things that can go concurrently. You can be learning the skills, you're networking at the same time, and you're learning the industry at the same time. When you do these three, it all accumulates to this part of prepare to work, where you're preparing to work. Because while you're networking not only with professionals in that space, you're also networking with employers, with industry leaders, people who can see your potential or who can see the potential in you and call for you to work. So one thing you have that's the most valuable thing to you is your work. So to really bootstrap your career, you're going to have to put in the hours learning, networking, and producing. How do you do that? You can do projects on open source. If you're a developer, you can do projects on open source. Like I had a session with one of my friends who owns a graphic designing brand. I told him, bro, you don't have to wait for people to give you work. It costs you nothing to sit down and have a concept, right? A concept that can really sell, and then you create it for a brand like Supermon or a brand like Tangi or Coca-Cola. Post it on your social media and tag them. They might not respond or they might not pay attention to what you're doing, but people out there will pay attention to your creativity, and then they will give you work and they will give you jobs. These are things that work, because when you go out there to look for work, maybe as starting a brand or starting a career or having a career, and you're going out to look for work, every company always asks for experience. Where are they expecting you to have experience when you have not worked anywhere? Where you can actually show off your experience without actually working in an organization is the projects that you accomplished on your own. When I sat in an interview session with my former boss, Njoku, Mambe Churchill, I had not worked anywhere, but I showed him a list of projects on my GitHub account, right, that I had done. You get? I showed him that. And he was impressed at the things that I was doing on my own, that nobody was paying me, but I was doing them. So if people can see the creativity that you can put in without being paid, they will trust in your potential, they will trust in what you've invested in, and they would pay you now, because they know that when they pay you, you would exploit more of that potential and bring it up. So you need to prepare to work, plan for interviews, practice answering questions in your mirror or in the front of colleagues who will give you honest advice. Please don't get people who are going to, let's say, more encourage you, how they say it in pidgin. Don't get people like that. Yeah, you can get people like me. I mean, you can do practice questions for your interview with me. I mean, I'm available. We can have that conversation on WhatsApp, or we can have it on Google Meet, or we can have it on King's Chat, where we do a live stream, and then you do your interview practice questions, and I give you my honest answers. Trust me, you might regret why you decided to do that. You get? So get someone or get people who will give you honest advice. Do practice questions. It's so weird and amazing. I mean, you see people coming for an interview and they have not practiced. They did not even go online. Like, you want a job, a junior front-end developer. You should not even go online to research interview question for junior front-end developer. Let me be honest with you. Most companies and their HR teams, they don't go and look for fictitious questions everywhere. They Google those same questions online and remove them. The only thing that they can do is add few questions that might be specific to the organization. You get? Like working hours and all of that, and commitment. But most of the questions that are focused on the job role, they are available online, and you can practice with those questions. You can also connect with people who are like employees already, like people who already had jobs, people who had worked for those organizations. That's where networking comes into place. You want to work with Google, you should be able to network with Google employees. Get engaged with them on their Google I/Os, on their Google events. Connect with them. Pick their brains on so many aspects. You cannot just say, I want to work, my dream job is to work at Google, and you're not connecting or networking with Google at all. So it's really, really not the best approach for you. So you have to reconsider all of that. You have to prepare for work. Like I said, plan an interview, practice answering questions in a mirror or in front of colleagues who give you honest advice. Reach out to individuals in position you want to work in. That's just what I just mentioned. And if they are open to an invitational interview, provide informative and interesting questions for them. If you have networks, studied, planned, then this practical task will fall into place much easier. So you get it. That is the, like, I'm giving you the silver lining of the whole thing, right? If you have the network and you've learned the skills and you've planned or prepared to work, right? Now, if you've done these three things, you've studied, which is studying the skills or learning the skills, learning the industry, and you're prepared to work and you've networked, then these practical skills will fall into place much easier, right? It isn't easy, but people start their own careers with little to few resources every single day. With this, there is no reason you can't do the same. I keep telling people every day, to me, universities in Cameroon, to some people they are great, but to me, I'll honestly say that they are a waste, because if you take me back, the only reason or the only thing I benefit from my university, like in Polytech, honestly, if I'm being real, is the friends I made. You get it? Which is networking. So the only thing I got from there was the networking. But shockingly, there are people who left there, they didn't learn the skills, they didn't network, they didn't learn the industry, and they never prepared to work. That's why you see a lot of them, they are not in the tech space technically anymore. But I have a lot of classmates that we focus on leveraging the network because there was no skills that was being taught. I mean, you can't expect a teacher who is teaching you programming and she gives an example that the code doesn't run. So what skills are you learning? So you had to learn the skills on your own. So we had to bootstrap. You know, we weren't going to school. We were home watching videos on YouTube, learning on our own, because our HND certification doesn't prove that we can actually do anything in tech, honestly. So we had to leverage the network because we had a class, and that class had different people with different mindset. You know, there was Nganishwell, he was like great at web and all of that. I had to network with him. Several of us had to network with him. We had other people, like you have the Edgar Designs, who was great at Photoshop and all of that. You had to network with him to know all of these things. We had AJ Beats, who is a master beats maker and all of that. We had to create the network. And now one of our greatest guys, he's actually one of the speakers. He's in the United States of America, and he owns a whole digital marketing agency. Amen dollar. So he's not doing tech, he's not a programmer, but he had to leverage the network. And because of the network he leveraged, he was able to use it fruitfully to create something for himself, which is sustainable. You get it? So that is what I'm saying. If you follow these 3 steps in everything and applying them, you are going to emerge successfully. You're going to come out effectively. Like I said, it isn't easy, but people start their own careers with little to few resources every single day. With these steps, there is no reason why you can't do the same. So you can do the same. You can bootstrap and you can start your career today and you become a success. So I really want to appreciate and thank you so very much if you've been online till now, or if you're watching later, you could just ask a question and we would comment and we would try to answer your question directly to you or on our social media platform. My name is B. Arambag Alen. I'm sorry that you were not able to see my video, I also apologize that we were not able to have our speaker today. Maybe we'll plan a recorded session with him, and then we post it for you to be able to get. But what I just did was just a summary because I didn't want you to miss out on anything. So I just shared this with you, which is I would say that which is my personal experience and what I've learned from bootstrapping my own career. Because hey, the only academic certification that I have is HND, and every single time I keep saying that if the opportunity is presenting itself again, I won't make that mistake, because to me it is a mistake, honestly, because when I look back, the only thing I see was the networking which I was able to leverage. So thank you guys so very much. We continue with a session tomorrow, Wednesday, from the biggest boss. I'm really hoping and trusting God that we're not going to have internet connectivity issues, because is Mr. Joybert that will be coming tomorrow for the webinar. So I'm really expectant of what he's going to share. So thank you guys so very much, and bye bye. See you guys tomorrow for our next